Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me. First, understand this week we'll have more volume in the markets than last week. People are returning to work on Wall Street and the such. So I'm expecting some decent movements this week. There are a couple things I want to start out with. Number one, on Friday, we spoke about levels of the SPY, and I mentioned 382.66, a key level. If we broke that higher, we could see 385 and possibly 388. So I have additional SPY levels because we saw all bull case scenarios on Friday and we closed at 389, which was a little stronger than I expected. So I'll give you my bull case scenario because there's little resistance all the way up to 395. So if today is a bull case day in the SPY, you're looking at 2% gain in the stock market. Bear case scenario was you all got caught in a bull trap last week and it was BS, and the market goes down to 382 today. Again, closing at 388 up to 389 on the SPY pre-market. You're talking about 2% in downside. So I'm going to start off most of my live streams now with my alerts. Okay, I'm going to cover 3 stocks or ETFs. I'm going to tell you calls above a certain price level, puts below a certain price level. This is different than what we're issuing and showing on our Discord. I think we're talking about NVIDIA today. Me personally, I like to look at the biggest volume plays, being Amazon, Apple, and SPY. 3 out of like the top 6 or 7 plays. So Amazon, I personally am looking at calls above $87.50. Okay, understanding that the level below that I'm looking to break down for puts on Amazon will be $85.50. So that would be my Amazon play on my watch list. My Apple play, I'd be looking for calls over 130. And yes, we're over 130 pre-market. Do I think that's going to happen today? I want to see if it holds 130. If it holds 130, I will be bullish Apple. If it rejects 130, then I could see Apple going down over a week. And let's say it's a tough week in the market, which I'm not forecasting, but I'm just giving you downside prediction. If Apple rejects 130, I would be in puts and I could see a downside to 124 and change. SPY, I'm not believing the SPY pre-market we're up to 389. However, 390 is a major psychological level. So if I see the SPY holding 390, I'm going to say calls and I would ride the SPY up to 395. Again, there's a ghost area, which means low volume between 389 and 395. So that could be the next rejection. I would get into calls if 390 is being held. Now, let's not get fooled. I mean, you need to see strong volume at 390 and continued buying. If you see it spike up and low volume, then you can see the market drop and you can't be like, yo, he told me calls above. You must analyze the volume. Okay, puts, if it rejects 390, shoot, I'd be looking to get into puts because, again, I believe the SPY bear case scenario can go back down to 382, which, again, if we were in at 390, 382, you're talking about 2.87%. Okay, next, we hear about all these firings in the tech sector and softer landing and things of that nature. Let's just go over a couple numbers. Meta, right? Meta in 2019 had 45,000 employees. Then 2021 spiked up to 71,000. Quarter 3 of last year, 87,000. So although Meta was firing people, right? Facebook, they're still almost 100% greater than where we were in 2019. Alphabet, something similar, 118,000 employees, 2021, 156. Third quarter last year, 187,000 employees. So you hear Amazon or Google is firing people. Not necessarily. Okay, Amazon, 800,000, 1.6 million. Yeah, they fired some people. They're down to 1.544 million employees, but they really need to go down lower. So that's the second case. Okay, now we can talk about bullish and bearish divergences. Okay, I like to mention that because understand if the stock price is up here and the algorithm is down here, and how do I find this out? I look on Discord. You can join Discord by joining. There should be a link below to our Discord. Point is, when the stock price is up here and the algorithm tells you the price should be down here, it's called bearish divergence. What generally happens is they meet someplace in the middle. So the stock comes down and the algo is telling you it should, and the algo comes up a little and they meet. Point is, you have bearish divergence on the 1 day on Crowd, CRWD, on Merck on the 1 day, KWeb, which is the Chinese technology, We're going to talk about China in 1 second. It doesn't mean these stocks or ETFs are going down today, but they should be on your radar as understanding the algos are telling you they should go down. You have home decor shop. What is it? RH, Micron Technologies. Square is in a 5-day bullish divergence. Understanding Square keeps going higher and higher, and the algos say it should be down here. So again, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, let's talk about China, because over the weekend, again, Monday in China on the Hang Seng was up as much as 3%. I think it closed up 1.7%. The Chinese market's been up for 4 or 5 straight trading sessions. Understanding what did China do? They reopened their borders to Macau, to Hong Kong. They did so over the weekend. Ton of reunions. What is this going to cause? Yeah, COVID outbreak. I mean, China's hospitals are full. China's morgues are full. They're not showing the pictures of what's happening, but the bodies are piling up. They're losing 5,000 plus individuals to COVID and other sicknesses each day in China. That is an extremely large number, and we think the Chinese government, obviously, they underreport everything they do because that's what they've been doing for years. They make big... Anyway, we'll stay off of that political issues. However, I don't trust China. Chinese market is ripping. Chinese stocks, you could take a look at Alibaba. What was in the 80s. Now it's $114. You're talking about 34 points, which is like 31.2% increase in like a 5 trading session day. So there are stocks I would be cautious. Let's get into trades, actual trades. I started off last week and I was bullish Disney. And I said, bull case scenario, they're going to start buying Disney. Disney can go all the way up to $94, $95. I was in the $88 calls at $65. I got out. I secured profit. But let's remember, my exit strategy was $6 to $7. Where did it go? $6.50 to $7, a return of 1,000%. So what I have to stop doing is buying too many contracts, because I think I had like 64 contracts at one time. However, I need to hold my contracts longer. Would have been smarter to buy 10 contracts, hold them the full week, and that's it. 64 contracts, securing less profit, but more contracts is great, but it's easier to hold longer when you have fewer contracts. We could talk about another trade. I got into some Starbucks puts. I secured profit. Starbucks spiked again. I got into puts. I'm down on that latest trade of Starbucks puts, but I'm not over levered. I'm in with like 6 or 7 contracts. What am I going to do? I'm going to hold them to the end of the week. The same that I should have done with Disney contracts. Hold to the end of the week, max value. What if I'm wrong? What if you're wrong, Matt? Well, if I'm wrong, I have 6 or 7 contracts that I spent $700 on, something to that extent, or $980 actually, about $1.40 average. The point is, limited downside, limited risk. I know my maximum loss can be $940. On Disney, my maximum gain at 10 contracts being correct, $650 all the way up to would have been like $7,000. What did I secure on Disney? About $1,600, and I had more contracts. So again, less contracts, holding the position longer. Let's mention entering last week. I mentioned that I was bullish on airlines, on Boeing. Well, Boeing was $194. It went all the way up to what? $200 and something dollars. I don't even know where Boeing's at. Let's check it out because I'm actually interested on how high Boeing went. Disney. Oh, I'm going to talk about different stocks. Yeah, $213. So Boeing at $194. And let's remember, my original Boeing position was at $184.80. Boeing, FedEx, Nike, Lee Automotive. Remember, I sold all those with 7% profit in 3 trading days because they went up ridiculously much. So I'm going to talk about a couple stocks because there are a bunch of stocks on my watch list. What am I watching today? I'm watching Microsoft. Why? Because it was the most actively traded call contracts ending last week, meaning Microsoft had been so beat up, and I'm just looking at Microsoft over the last month, so beat up that they're actually predicting a reversal. Microsoft is spiking a little this morning. Again, if the SPY goes up to the level of 395, which would be a 2% gain, Microsoft is going to pop. If the SPY happens to reverse itself and go back to 382, a 2% loss, then yeah, Microsoft's not going to have a hard time holding 226, and we'll see it back at 220. So again, watching Microsoft. Macy's came out with a report like, our guidance for the fourth quarter is going to be to the low end of the spectrum, and Macy's is off 4.5% pre-market. So my eyes on Macy's. Why? Because at $20, I mentioned it was a buy. It went to $22, up 10%. Although it's down 4% pre-market, it's still up 6% from the $20 level. So although people are like, oh shit, that report sucks, we're selling off 4.5%, it's still above $20. So again, I'm watching that one. Lululemon, right? Off 10% this morning. I'm watching that one as well because that one cratered off poor fourth quarter results on gross margin, net profits, tightening fourth quarter earnings. So we'll see what happens with that. Again, that stock's trading at 297 pre-market, off 9.8%, closed at 326. Here's the catch. Institutions, analysts, they put price targets up on it of like $515. So that's to suck you guys in. Oh, Lulu got an upgrade, 415. Shit, this is going back up. No, not likely. If Lulu's going down pre-market, likely continue. So again, they're still investing in Disney, and I'm sure Disney and Netflix are all tied together. If the market does stay bullish, I've heard analysts talk about Netflix going from $300 all the way up to $340. Seems kind of strong. I would be out of Netflix at $328 if you get that much. It's at $318 this morning. So again, if you get a couple good days in the market, $328's possible. It's likely, but I would be exiting out of Netflix around that range. Again, I'm in some Starbucks puts. It's flickering around on extremely light volume. I'm going to have to check that out on Discord to make sure I want to stay in them. I'm only in about 9 contracts. I will likely carry them to the end of the week. That is my Disney lesson. If I carried the Disney to the end of the week, 1,000% rather than like, I think I made 119% on that trade. But again, I should have made a lot more money. Okay, a couple other stocks I wanted to mention. Of course, I've got Amazon on my watch list. Why? Because the Qs well, we can talk about that in a minute. Let me just go to the other pictures I wanted to discuss. Spoke about the SPY levels. I'll go back to the SPY levels. Spoke about bearish divergence, the jobs. Okay, earnings coming up this week. So earnings, we had, what was it? Weed Company this morning. Tilray reported soft numbers. I think it's under $3 a share. Let's remember, Tilray was the one that was popping to like $4.2. Oh, old school stock. Probably missed the boat, so I wouldn't suggest riding this boat, but I would keep an eye on it. Remember Ebon, everybody? It did a reverse split. It was down to like $2.20 a share. It's now up to $4.50 a share. It's up 50% since last week. Its market capitalization is still, I think, about $25 million. Understanding the market capitalization on the stock went to like $6 million. They have more in cash than they do on their book valuation. So that is pretty crazy. We have bank earnings later in the week. JP Morgan, Bank of America, Citibank, Wells Fargo, BlackRock, all report on Friday. Who else reports on Friday? Pretty important for the healthcare sector. United Healthcare, UNH, which is the biggest healthcare play or one of them, reports on Friday. And then we have Delta Airlines reporting on Friday. However, before Friday, what could potentially move the market? Hands? Anybody? Yes. Thursday's CPI report. You're going to have December's CPI report released on Thursday. Consumer sentiment on Friday. So not only do you have earnings of bank stocks on Friday, which are going to be extremely important because Goldman's laying off, I think, 3,200 more employees. Let's talk about the Fed chairs that are speaking this week. Again, they'll have some impact on the market based on what they say because the entire market is trading around the Fed. Now, here's the catch. Job numbers on Friday were strong, meaning the job market is still strong, meaning the market actually should have gone down on Friday. But what were they doing on Friday? They were pumping up the market and buying the market. So I'm going to be paying special attention to the Fed chair people that speak this week because the market can fool you. It could be a bull trap, a bear trap. Again, volume on the SPY is extremely light from 391 to 395. But understand 390 on the SPY, which is where we're at pre-market, is a key level. So what could potentially happen? Well, market open. We open at, let's see where the SPY is right now. Let me just see if I can add this and you guys can share with me. Okay, there we go. See, SPY is at 389.99. Why is that funny? 389.99 on the SPY. Because 390 is a key psychological level, meaning it could reject 390. And it doesn't mean it's rejecting like 390 on the dot. Oh, 390, let's go down. It means 390 could be a major rejection, psychological level. I'll be watching the volume. Again, if we pump higher, there is a ghost level of light volume all the way to 395. So you're talking about 5 additional points on the SPY, which is another 1.5%. So if your stocks are up, Uber's up 3% pre-market, and it's a green day, and the SPY goes to 395, Uber will be up 7% on the day. This is how I do things, okay? I'll give you a couple other examples. I used Uber as an example. Let's go to Microsoft. I mean, if Microsoft goes up and we're in a green market, you're going to see, instead of sitting at 226 pre-market, you're going to see 229. So you're talking about an extra 1%. However, don't get sucked into a bull trap. Me, I leave my emotion on the side. I have my strategy. My bull case scenario is the SPY is going to 395. When would I get involved in SPY calls? Well, first, I would get involved if we saw like 391, 40 or 50. I would say, okay, I'm going to look for a pullback because I don't chase. If the market's going up, I'm not buying as we're going up and paying more money. I say to myself, okay, well, it's confirming my strategy that we're doing bullish stuff today in the market. So I'm going to wait for a retraction and then I'll grab some SPY calls and ride it up to 395. Now, bear case scenarios. We go to 391, we reject. We try 391 again, we reject. Then I say to myself, okay, likely we're going to reject a third time. I thought at 390 would be a psychological level. I think we could ride down to 392. I'm looking for SPY puts that expire Friday. Let's remember my SPY calls from last week that I took 70% on. They went out till Friday. I bought them Monday. I sold them Wednesday, and they went out till Friday. I did so to safeguard. So let's remember my rules, which are listed on Discord, which is you don't over leverage yourself. When you buy an option, you ask for a sale, meaning that whatever your option is trading at, $1.20, you're looking for whatever you generally miss by. If you look at your phone and you're like, oh shit, I'm off 20% usually, then pay 20% less. If you're going to buy an option for $1.05 and you're usually wrong by 20%, say to yourself, instead of $1.05, I will offer $89 per contract. If it gets it, great. If it doesn't get bought, then who cares? The point is, instead of being down 20% when you're looking at your phone, you're like, oh, shit, I'm break even. I'm plus 2%. I'm minus 2%. I made a mistake last week. I didn't underbid myself. You know how much I was off by? 18%. You know how much I used to be off by? 18%. So I could have got in so much better. It frustrated me beyond belief. Okay, so anyway, those are some of my lessons. When you enter into an option play, let's say you've got 1,000 or 10,000 in your account. You don't put all 1 or 10 into that position. What do? You dip your toe in. Let's remember that rule. Dipping my toe in means I'm buying one contract. I'm going to watch it for 5 or 10 minutes or an hour. When I determine that my entry was good, I'm going to increase my position. If my entry was bad and it drops 20%, I will buy a second or a third contract. I'm still not going all in on it. Then I will watch for another 20 minutes or an hour, and I'll determine, is my position going to be correct or incorrect? If I think I could do better, then I might buy 16 more contracts. If I think I could do that it's already turning around, I'm not going to chase. Again, we're looking for entry, exit, strategy, secure profit, pocket it, and do it again. Again, there's a list of all rules. Oh, yeah, we have a Romeo live stream. Romeo's killing it this week. So let me just go to Discord real quick and give you guys the updated schedule. Because if you're going to join our Discord, you want to watch the Romeo live stream. Why? He explained candles. If you don't know what candles are or how to read candles, then you should not be investing. And if I just offended like 4 people, I'm sorry. If I offended 4, I'm sorry. The point is, you need to know how to read candles. And if you're like, I don't even know how to start reading candles or something to that extent, join our live stream. Here's the schedule for Romeo. 9:15 today is our private Discord. 9:15 tomorrow, Tuesday, is a public Discord, meaning you don't have to pay for our service. You could be on our public Discord platform, which should be below or to the side, and read it below. Oh, there it is, public live stream. So you could join for free. But he's doing that Tuesday. Then Thursday, private Discord again. And Friday AM, maybe private Discord. Why is it great? I hate trading between 9:30 and 10:30. What does Romeo love to do? Trade at market open, secure profit time and time again. So that's great. Let me just see if we have any questions on any stocks or anything going on over here. Again, major stories, Chinese opening. Here's the problem with that. We still have restrictions. If you're coming over from China, you need to go and prove that you had a negative COVID test. I heard that the planes landed in Italy from China over the weekend, and 50% of the people leaving the planes tested positive for COVID as soon as they exited the planes. So do I believe China? I mean, China could be the ultimate pump and dump. So that's what I'm watching. Watch Chinese stocks. I don't get involved in Chinese stocks. I got screwed. I think it was summer of 2021. Since then, I rarely trade Chinese stocks. Okay, good morning. Can we check on NVIDIA levels? Yes. So on Discord, let's just see where the levels were. And give me 1 second. All right, let's go dark pool. Okay, here we go. Man, that stinks. Okay, we've got NVIDIA levels. We're looking for calls above $150.14 and puts. If you're going to be negative NVIDIA, again, you want to be negative NVIDIA at 147.64. So the fact that NVIDIA is opening where it is, again, just because it opens higher doesn't mean you have to get involved right away. Let me give my alerts. Again, if you missed logging on and watching me right at the start and you were already 20 minutes in, I gave 3 strategies today. Amazon, I'm looking at calls over $87.50. Again, doesn't mean I chase and get right in. I don't buy options until at least 10:30 when the bid and the ask narrow. If I'm looking at puts on Amazon, I'm looking for reject, and I'm looking at 85.50. When it rejects 85.50 and we break that level going down, not saying it's happening today, could happen later in the week, that's when I would be looking to get into Amazon puts. Again, Apple calls over 130. If it rejects 130, I would be looking for Apple puts. Same with SPY. I mentioned bull case scenario, there's very little supply and supply zone from 390 to 395, but 390 is a psychological level. So I would potentially be looking at calls once it breaks and holds 390, riding the SPY all the way to 395. If it rejects 390, then again, I believe 382 can be in play. And again, I would go out till Friday with my options. I know a lot of people like to choose 0 days till expiration options, and they call them their lottery plays. But all that is gambling. If you really want to make money in the market, you have to give yourself enough time to be right, which is another rule that I have on my Discord. Again, I probably listed out about 16 rules. I used to do YouTube episodes. Okay, I've been in Starbucks going up 4 to 5 days of outflow. What is that? So yeah, there are some huge positionings exiting Starbucks, but I mentioned when I was in the Starbucks puts, I believe it was Thursday, that the algos flipped. I guess it was either late on Thursday. Let's see, when did we get involved? No, it was late on Wednesday. The algorithms flipped on Starbucks and it became more neutral than it was bearish. Again, I'm seeing tons of large position outflows on Starbucks. Jim Cramer really likes Starbucks. I tend to be early, so I secured profit on one of those put options. I'm carrying the second position over probably till the end of the week. However, if the SPY is going up to 395, understand Starbucks will be at 108 or 109. So if you believe the SPY breaks 391 and we're going to have a bullish day, then you want to exit out of those puts. You want to take a loss. You want to wait to re-enter until there's rejection in the market. Again, I'm going to hold on to my 9 puts probably to the end of the week and see how that goes. Why? Because that was my Disney example. I was in those Disney calls, $88 calls. My theory was it was going to 95 by the end of last week. Where did it go? It went to like 94 and change. Let me just see where that went so I can be more specific on it. Disney's high, 94.69. So understanding those calls, which we got into at 65 cents, all the way down to 55 cents when I called the low on those calls, $55 a contract. They went up north of $6 and like 80 cents. So from $65 to $680 per contract. And that was all I was talking about last week, even though I was talking about United Airlines and Delta. Remember, I did not want to be in American Airlines and I didn't want to be in Southwest Airlines or JetBlue. Okay, yeah, so Starbucks to keep an eye on. Again, we have Romeo. Yes. Oh, Romeo is going to be tomorrow on YouTube as well. So if you can't join our Discord, but again, I would suggest joining Discord. It's so much easier. Plus, you have all the other channels that you could learn from. There's a public chat and stuff like that. But yes, we're going to do Romeo's live stream. If you missed it on Friday, we dropped Love's first episode again on YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed, you haven't watched it, Love actually interviewed Romeo. What do they talk about? Trading with candlesticks. If you're like, what? Trading with who? Candlesticks. I use a lighter. I light those. They light my house. I no clue what candlesticks are. Then you should not be investing. You need to learn how to trade with candlesticks. For everybody interested, please follow me over to Discord. I'm going to be dropping a Discord video at 9 a.m. Again, Romeo will be doing his Discord trading at 9:15. If you can, please thumbs up on this video. Algorithms are everything for YouTube. Pass this video along. Again, we're going to start each morning. So please join me at 8:30 because I'm going to start each morning with 3 stocks or ETFs, puts or call options so that you can put them on your watch list. Okay, this is public information I'm going to be providing to you, but it's only going to be at the start of each of my live streams. So if you're not there at 8:30, you may miss out. Today I repeated it because people joined a little late. With that said, I'm heading to Discord. See you guys later. Thanks for joining me. See you guys tomorrow morning. What is that? Tuesday morning. Have a great day of trading.